Explain voluntarism versus materialism. Well, according to the voluntarist view, the word "what is to be done" is basically like, well, I'm sitting here. What kind of charity should I go out and be doing? But the materialist view is ontological. It's actually a question of what is being in the first place. What am I doing right now? And the real political struggles that are happening are around the fact that this is not a given, right? Don't assume. This is the problem with voluntarism. With voluntarism, you say, I'm here, I know what I am, I know what is going on, what should I do? What direction do I go in? But you're taking a lot of things for granted. You're taking being for granted, right? The reason there's politics, guys, isn't because people woke up one day and decided that they want to intervene in reality. It's because there's a conflict over reality itself and what is reality. So that's where the revolution actually is happening. It's not happening, because it's, guys, there's a problem with American technocratic pragmatism. And what I mean by that is that, I know it's more phrases. What I mean by that is that people assume that communism means I woke up on the wrong side or right side of the bed one day and I say, all around the world I see problems. So how do I solve these problems? And I'm going to use communism to solve the problems that exist in the world. That's completely a technocratic, pragmatic view of what, in this philosophical sense of communism, and it's completely hopscotching over the necessary engagement with German idealism and stuff, which is actually
I think that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I think that the way that it's easier maybe to swallow what we're saying, especially with like the objectivity of socialism, which I know we've talked about a million times, but think about socialism the way you do about capitalism. Most of you are smart enough to not use this stuff as just an ideology, right? You see it as you use whatever word, mode of production, economic system, doesn't really matter what you call it, but something that's objective. It's not just premised on your ideas. That's what socialism is. In the objective sense, you can be subjectively, right, striving for or clarifying the world in light of this fact, but it's not something that precedes this actual objectivity, Like it doesn't, if we say we're living in socialism, it doesn't mean that Marxists rule us. It doesn't mean that. It just means that, but it just means that, it means that there's an objectivity that precedes your own wants, It doesn't have to be subjectively socialistic,
Boy, so just strive to be better. No, I don't think that. I think you should lose this kind of normative better, worse view of things at all. Again, study a little bit, learn a little bit from Asian philosophy. It's about being. Don't take being for granted. Just be what you are, and you'll see how revolutionary it is. That's why I always tell people, guys, learn from the Iranian Revolution. Be like Khomeini. The guy just stood still, and the whole world trembled. Be what you are, and the world will tremble. The revolution will happen around you. You have to invert your sense of what revolution is. Revolution doesn't mean you're forcing change on reality. That's a voluntaristic, very Western, individualistic view. Sometimes when you actually correctly acquire a relationship to material reality, that in itself is what's revolutionary. Because believe it or not, the world you're taking for granted, the world you think you know, is latent with contradictions.